Hello and welcome back to our Loresworn playthrough of Crusader Kings The Reaper's Due in this early preview build. I am TJ, and we are playing as Duchess Adela, I actually don't know how to pronounce that, of Northumberland. We have just survived the Black Death. Our two counties of Northumberland and Durham are currently safe, although it is still ravaging much of Europe. Before we unpause, let's take a look at what the actual effects of this have been, because there are some notable ones. For one thing, we only suffered minor depopulation from the plague, which is a big penalty, but you'll see why in a second. It's not as bad as it could be, largely because we had the foresight to build a hospital. We kind of knew the plague was coming. You could say that that's a little bit metagamey, but what have you. By the way, I just noticed there are little rats running through the streets in the plague provinces. All the little graphical effects they've added for this expansion are pretty cool. We got some pyres, we got some piles of bodies with Grim Reapers over them. Durham suffered significant depopulation, so that's a little worse. But York, the county we're currently fabricating a claim on, they suffered severe depopulation. And that's going to make a big difference in terms of our levy size versus their levy size, which is actually going to make them easier to conquer. So the plague has actually changed our immediate geopolitical situation here just in the north of England. And actually, we talked about getting Cumberland back because that's de jure still part of our duchy. And it looks like Scotland has been hit pretty hard overall. I still don't think we could 1v1 them without allies, but yeah, well, the lowlands were hit harder than the highlands, which is to be expected. I believe that was the case historically as well. The other thing is the plague has caused a lot of King Edward's vassals to die without heirs. So he gained a whole bunch of little baronies. So in some ways it centralized the realm a little bit, which is another interesting side effect. I guess we'll see if there are any like post-plague events that pop up to model sort of the religious and economic impacts of the plague in terms of like corruption in the Catholic Church, and to some degree, or at least the school of thought I subscribe to, is that it sort of ended the concept of serfdom. It created a labor shortage. So we'll see how that works out. Current goal right now is still to fabricate a claim on York. I'll keep it on plague map mode so we can just kind of see progress. Switzerland didn't get hit, and also Poland, which was historically spared from the plague, also didn't really get hit, which I'm interested to know what actually in the game code causes that, because that's a cool historical detail, like why this area has more resistance. In real life, it had a lot to do with trade and a lot to do with terrain and population density, but I'm not sure if that's actually modeled in the game or what. Looks like he inherited another barony. Corfa is one he's inherited multiple times. I think what was actually happening there is he was granting the barony back out, and then the person who held it kept dying of the plague. So there are so many things in the world that are just not worth expending energy on. I have become slothful, which is one of the worst traits you can get. How are my sisters doing? I'm going to train both of them in etiquette, because I have a feeling I'm not going to be a very good duchess. Last place in England to be afflicted by the plague, it looks like Hereford and Gloucester. I got some crap in the comments for calling, where is it? For calling Leicester, there it is. I pronounced it as Leicester, which I believe is correct in Middle English, but not in modern British English, so I do apologize to the people of Leicester for that. The steppe ravaged by plague. No one is safe as the plague claims its victims across the steppes. Trade is suffering as the affliction spreads across the northern route of the Silk Road. The tribes are riding to the wilderness, desperately trying to escape the epidemic. Trails of dead bodies mark their passing. I wonder if that has an effect on your horde population. Since hordes don't really use levies. Like if this pasture land is affected at all. It'll be interesting to see. Oh. What is this? Oh yeah, it's just wars blocking part of the Silk Road modifier. Edward of England has inherited Welsh name I'm not going to try to pronounce. And the plague is receding from Scandinavia. The Pants Act. Oh, is he a lunatic? Yes, he's a lunatic, and he has the Great Pox. Direct leader, I think that's a new trait. Your highly eccentric liege has proclaimed a new law that is to be upheld throughout the realm. It reads, whereas pants constrict not only the lower limbs and reproductive organs, but also the human soul, and whereas pants are known to be an affront to all forms of life but man, therefore I, King Edward IV of England, command that the use of pants be outlawed throughout the realm under penalty of death. All existing variants of this garment are to be immediately burned, and the ashes distributed evenly over the graves of our forefathers. And the graves are many, since we've just survived the plague. Do I have a commander I can appoint? I can. Prince Bishop Stephen. He will make a fine commander. Oh yeah, I guess I still have cramps, but we've determined that that's not the plague, so I'll be okay. Actually, I don't currently have a treatment modifier, so I probably should seek treatment. Alright, the Black Death is nowhere on the map any longer. We still have a measles outbreak, we have smallpox in Africa, and consumption in the Mediterranean, but that doesn't really affect us, so I think we're going to be alright. I clicked seek treatment, it didn't seem to actually... Oh, hey, my regency has ended. I finished my education in the ways of war. I've become a tough soldier. So, my stats turned out pretty garbage. I am going to choose a... Yeah, let's do a family focus, because I really want to have a legitimate son as my heir. We're going to go for matrilineal marriages only, and I am going to try to... Unless there's a very obvious high-rank person, I'm going to try to marry for stats. He's the relative of a king. Yeah, it's pretty terrible stats and he's depressed. What about this guy? He's a courtier. Okay, so I only have one highborn option and he has pretty terrible stats. He is 26. Oh, but he's chaste. Yeah, we don't want that. Alright, let's marry for stats. Really, this Sunni Berber guy would be willing to marry me? And he's a genius. It said I checked matrilineal marriage. What do you mean they're not willing to marry matrilineally? Alright, who's the next best option? All these guys are terrible at diplomacy. Let's sort by stewardship. French commander, he's 41. That's a little old. Oh, this guy's got some good traits. He's a scholarly theologian. Is sick. Have terrible skills. Could I pay him off? I don't know. Let's just keep moving. Okay, matrilineal marriages only. Wait, why is this showing me a completely different list now? Italian, age 20. Result in the non-aggression pact. He has pretty good stats. Sure. And he's a relative of a duke, so I'm not going to lose any... the Bishop of Pinerolo. Alright. So do I get... Does he have any claims on anything? He actually has a claim on a duchy in Greece. I don't know if our children can inherit it because it's a matrilineal marriage, but okay. Is his relative the duke, or is his dad the duke, or... I don't know. How are we doing money-wise? I think we need prestige more than money right now. And I'm going to pick an ambition. Paragon of Virtue, Queen of England, acquire title. Okay, so I could try to get the king to give me a title, which maybe if I go to him with no pants, who knows? He is male and also doesn't like pants, so... groom an heir. This is a new one. Have a male child and see him reach adulthood. Yeah, let's go with that one. Fertility increased by 20%. That's actually a really good one, because previously there was no way in Crusader Kings to set your ruler to, like, I want to have more kids or I don't want to have more kids. So a lot of times you wouldn't end up with an heir when you needed one, or you're in, like, a Gavelkind realm and you're like, okay, I have two sons who are strong and quick. I don't want to have any more kids because I don't want to have to split up my land anymore. I think there should be, you know, a way to, like, set it so that you'll, you know, drink the moon tea or whatever and not not try to have any more kids. But I like that they have this option now. That's really cool. Designated regent. I'll keep Jocelyn of Lindisfarne. He's kind of the best person at my court. Can I try to seek... Okay, he's worried that you're developing smallpox. Insists you to follow instructions. Okay. To reduce your cramps, he had you stand in a bucket of warm water until your toes wrinkled. Alright, well, that's something. It's only a plus 25 modifier. But at least it'll, you know... Northumberland has already lost its minor depopulation modifier. But severe depopulation, it says, takes many years to go away. So we can tell which counties are still depopulated based on these gravestones. I don't know if it tells us the severity. Because, like, here we have bodies being thrown into carts, but York doesn't have it, and it's also severely depopulated. And actually, all epidemics are over. The flag has disappeared. Oh yeah, this guy who was my steward, I can imprison him, but I only have a 25% chance of success based on my intrigue. I am getting pretty good stats from my husband. That's good. Hopefully we will produce a strong heir soon, because we need it. Are all of my counselors currently doing what they need to be doing? My... chaplain is not doing anything, so I'll send him to Rome to make sure the Pope likes us, because the Pope not liking you is a very bad thing. I thought we already passed that law. A group of hedge knights have come to visit Northumberland. Simon has met with them and asked for my reply. We'll welcome them to a lavish feast, because Gregarious would be very helpful right now. Yeah, that boosted my diplomacy from terrible to slightly less terrible. The Hedge Knights have participated in a minor tournament together with our knights in Northumberland. Sadly, one of these landless vagabonds have been severely injured. Yeah, I'm going to allow them to stay, so I can hopefully gain just. Alright! So I'm getting some decent stats now. My work in York has come to fruition. Let's use the claim. I'm going to create a bookmark save right here. I promise I will not save scum. And yeah, we're gonna declare war on the Duke of York here. Let's check his allies first. So he has non-aggression pact, but not an alliance with his spouse, who has no land. I think that means we're safe. Alfred, that's him though. Oh, he's currently abroad. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, I think we can actually win this fairly decisively. I'm gonna go into my military screen first and see. The Baron of Alnwick doesn't like me that much, so he's probably not gonna give me his full retinue. I'm actually just gonna send gifts around to everyone, since I can afford it. Didn't I already send one of these guys gifts? Oh, he wants a lot of money. That's why. And we're going to declare war for York. I'm going to go down to speed 3. Raise all of my armies. And we're going to march. Oh yeah, I need to make sure I have all my good commanders set. Apparently I can lead troops. So there's that. Also... I thought I had a full roster of commanders, but for some reason it's not letting me appoint a third. Or there's not a third one available on the list. I don't know why that is. I think we're going to win, though. They probably have better... Oh, no, they don't. They have horrible commanders. We have won the Battle of Hull. And we are going to chase them down. Yeah, we should chase them down. Because they are going to be reinforcing. I do have Shattered Retreat on. I actually like Shattered Retreat. Of the controversial Conclave features, I was very anti-Coalition, but I was pro-Shattered Retreat. I actually think it makes the game a better game. That is my humble opinion. Yeah, we're gonna, looks like, catch up to them in the Welsh countryside here. And we are going to whittle them down. I've improved my martial skill on the battlefield. So we don't have, I don't think we have the status of women law that allows... Yeah, women's still traditional, but I guess if you're the top level ruler of one of the belligerent factions, you can just be a commander, like no one can tell you not to. So there are two peasant families in Dyfed who've been locked in a bitter feud for generations. Were we in Dyfed? Are we in Dyfed now? Okay, so, and again, I'm pronouncing these Welsh names completely wrong. So I'm marching through here. And these peasant families are coming to me for help for some reason. It's even discussed in circles of nobility. Although this feud would normally be far beneath my notice, this could be a golden opportunity to practice my diplomacy. I'll put an end to it. I'm also leaving the county. So I've invited the two feuding families to a local inn, hoping to reach some sort of agreement. The peasants seated at two opposing tables on either side of your position in the middle. Some have brought pitchforks, one clutches a live chicken, and all of them look moderately inbred. This could be a challenge. Well, a lot of the nobles and Crusader Kings are also moderately to not so moderately inbred, so I think I can speak to these people. I'm going to try to appeal to their sense of reason. This petty feud cannot continue. What do you suppose would happen if the great noble houses fought each other as you do? Like we're doing right now. Like we're literally doing right now. Instead of working together for the common good, you must learn from our shining example and the peasants shout you down. You barely have time to dodge the chicken that someone hurls your way. With a howl, the two families leap over their tables and throw themselves at each other with you caught in the middle. Clothes torn and covered in bruises, you eventually manage to crawl out of the inn as the fighting continues inside. Well, I did my best, and I gained 1 diplomacy. Good enough for me. Where are they going now? They're going to Gloucester? Is that where I'm also going? Yeah. Yeah, they don't have a chance. Actually, we should do this so we can avoid the river crossing. Don't want to attack across the river if we can help it. Alright, experience in matters of war is increased. So I can study organization, movement, speed, and retreat, direct leader, leading the center, morale defense. I'll focus on the center, and then I'll switch out so that I am leading the center and not Matthew. Alright, we are seriously whittling down their army. And I'm going to lead from the center. I'm going to put Matthew on the flank. not really going to have much of an army left in a second here. Black Death has been very, very helpful to us. Although I am now out of money, so hopefully I don't have to borrow it from moneylenders. Because people don't like it when you do that. And then also the moneylenders want you to repay them, and it's like, come on, man. Oh, they're gonna get all cheeky and run around the countryside trying to avoid us. If they try to, like, march and siege our territory, that's gonna be especially funny. They're now fighting against... Are they at war with Durham? Oh, that's just Durham's personal troops that are not directly involved in the war. That's what's going on there. Can't pay my soldiers, so they're not going to be fighting at 100%. But the war is just about over. I think I'm just going to go siege down York and call it a day.